So this is V100. This is the monthly time frame. It's a very funny movement. What is this guy doing? Well, there's a breakout structure to the upside. So let's see if, let me go to weekly to see what's happening. From there, we see that there's a breakup structure to the upside. Market came down. High low broke structure, came back, but closed within the structure. Okay. High low high broke structure. Okay, is this guy coming down again? I don't know. Let's see what market wants to do. Let me go to daily. Okay, there's a clear break of structure here on the daily, and high low high low. Feel the imbalance, seeing more push to the upside. So my buyers, I'm bearish, I'm bullish on this guy. I'm bullish, and this guy came to feel this imbalance. Let me scale down. Okay, H4. I break that. Let me see what's up here. So my first entry for this guy will be here, and then that's for the sell. Wait, why am I looking out for sell? We are bearish now. Okay. So we expect this guy to come back from here. Okay, I'm right. So first entry will be here, stop loss here. Second entry can be here. Although this imbalance got filled up already. This imbalance got filled up by this upward movement. So I think price is actually complete from here. It's from here now that an imbalance was created. Price broke structure to the downside, couldn't come back to fill that imbalance, and then we saw price dive deep down. And then we are seeing bullish price action either to this zone, or price may decide to still come back to this zone. Whatever price wants to do, we move. So let me go to the beginnings. Let's see what has been happening. So what are we doing here? Okay, so what's price doing here? Daily high low, broke structure, came back, broke structure, and then still came back to retest this Q. High low, broke structure, and then a retest down here to this Q. Then market broke structure again. Price came back to fill this imbalance, but not up to 50%. So you wouldn't have been in this trade because price didn't hit the 50% of the move. So high low and of course broke structure again here. In fact, I think price came back to test the breaker block, and then we saw another break of structure. Yeah, and then high, low, market broke structure here too. High, low, break of structure to the upside. Price came back to where? Price came back to 61% or 50%. Didn't break structure. Price didn't break this structure. This new high that was created, price didn't break it. Then we saw another break of structure to the downside. So in the real sense, high, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, low, break of structure. Price came back to retest high, low, high, high, low, high, low, high. So but price took out this last point and then price respected here. This last bearish candle, which you must have been taken out from there, and then see the bullish momentum. So what happened here? High, low. This remains the high. High, low. So this is still the high since there was no break of structure. So high, low, basically structure is everything. Price came back to 50%, created a new low, came back to 50%, broke out of that, but gave a short move, came back to this breaker block, created a new low. This is the new low. Let me ask, are you guys comfortable with my mode of the way I run my class? Because me, I'm just doing my thing. I'm not even carrying you guys along. Are you guys following at all?
Yes, I'm following, sir.
Okay. Okay, so broke structure to the downside, came back, So let me see. So this guy came here to eat the 50%, broke structure downward again. And then what happened? Price came back to this breaker block, broke structure to the downside, low, high, break of structure, retest. In fact, I think this retest happened to fill this imbalance. Price filled that imbalance. There was a total fill up of the imbalance there. And then price broke structure So the downside created a new high, low, did a kind of choppy movement. So as far as I'm concerned, this move here actually happens to be structural movement on the lower time frame. But because it's a bigger time frame, let's just take this whole stuff as a swing. Let's take it as a swing. So low, high. The breakup structure happened here. So why did price come back from here? Let's see. Let's see what happened. Is there any imbalance? Okay. This looks like a liquidity sweep. Let me go to H4. Yeah, a liquidity sweep. And then price came down. Low high breakout structure. A retest happened. A retest of the 50% happened, and then price broke structure to the downside again. So this for this move now, this happens to be the last structural point, and then price came here, created the kind of a mini high, low, broke structure. This is a mini because the last structural point on the main time frame is yet to be broken. So even if my bias is based on this higher time frame, I won't see what happened there as anything until this guy happened. Then I know that okay, this guy is planning to actually buy for your while. And then what happened? So a retest happened, broke out of here, came back to retest. But like I always say, there's a big imbalance here. If you go to higher time frame, let me see weekly. Are you guys seeing the big imbalance? So that's something that you need to, watch out for. Although this guy came low, I broke structure just to give us a kind of tap into the imbalance. Broke structure to the upside again, came back to retest. So my fips again, broke structure again to the upside, created a new high, came back to retest. What level? 50%, created a new high, and then came to fill this imbalance. So this is actually a shift just to fill the imbalance that happened there, and then there was a push to the upside again, broke out of this structure, came back to retest. In fact, this one came deep down, I think to tap the institutional candle. Okay, it didn't even come to open. It didn't touch the open, but at least there was a sufficient retest. Broke structure to the upside again. And then a retest happened. So a retest happened, 61.8 levels, came up, broke structure. So this structure got broken. Yeah, so this is the new swing now. So our fibs from ear to ear. I hope my chart is not too clumsy for you. I hope it's not too clumsy.
No, no, it's okay, it's fine.
Okay, so
Yeah,
market
we are
growth
following
structure.
you.
You said?
I said we are following you, sir.
Okay, so market broke structure again. Came back to this breaker block. Created a new low. So there was a break of structure here. Created a new low. This becomes our new swing. Market came up well, and from what you are seeing here, this is a dynamic liquidity. When you see stuff like this, always know that price will weak it out. Down is sure there was a week down and then a week up and then break of structure. So price came back here, broke structure again to the downside, broke structure again to the downside, and then what happened? My fibs from here to here. Price came to 76, which actually happened to be area where we have our cube. Like I said, supply and demand traders, we call this a supply candle. And then price, let me see, price broke structure. Then a break of structure here. Okay, this guy didn't break structure. There was no break of structure to the downside. So after this swing, a retest, price came to test this last structural point. Didn't break out of it, although there was a weak out, but using the line chart, there was no break of structure there. And then price broke structure to the upper side. So from here now, you will be thinking that okay, this being the last lower high, okay, that price will probably come to any of these levels. So price came, did this thing, played around this place, and then there was a breakout structure to the downside. So now let's trace back how the movement happened. High, low, high, low. So no sufficient retracement, but price broke structure to this zone. Broke structure, came back to fill this imbalance, filled it well. If I go to a lower time frame, this place will be a supply candle. Let me see. Where is that thing? Okay, as expected, a supply candle scaling down to a lower time frame. So price without from there. Broke structure again. High, low, high, low, high. Is there a break of structure here? Okay, there was a break of structure here actually. Price broke structure to the downside. Week out of this, you would have been expecting price to come back from here, but price still went up to this cube, came down, that was respected this zone, still respected this zone, just still this cube. This cube is still what is attracting price, and then there was a break of structure down here. So this becomes our new swing. Yeah, this is the highest point. So price came back to 50%, created a new low, created a new low, and then a new swing was formed. Price came to 50%, 50%, broke out of here, came back to 50%, There was a wick out of this zone, indicating a break of structure. But if I go to a low end, if I use my line chart, this guy actually closed above it, which is what happened. So that makes it invalid. So this becomes the new high now. So high, low, high, break of structure. So this is where the break of structure actually happened. High, low, high, break of structure. Price came back. This becomes our new swing. Price came back, almost weak out. In fact, if you don't add like few points to your stop loss here, you would have been weak out of this zone. Price broke structure downward again. Price broke structure downward, and we've been seeing there was no retest to any of this zone. But I believe the retest. Imagine the retest happened there. I can't imagine the number of days of waiting. See, see, not even there, not even there, so not there. So let's just follow the trend. No, created the kind of a choppy movement, and then what happened? High, low, high, low, high, low. Which out of here but still broke structure to the downside. So this becomes a new structural point. Price weak out of it. This becomes a new swing. Came back, but not fully to the 50%. Not fully to 50%, but of course, you see why price turned back from there. There was an imbalance here. Price came back to fill the 50% of the imbalance and broke structure to the upside. So this is someone saying something? I guess no. So broke structure to the upside. This becomes a new swing. This becomes a new swing. So price came back. Price didn't hit the 50%, but there was a break of structure against the upside. There was a break of structure against the upside. So this becomes the new swing. Ooh. But looking at this zone, you should know we have a lot of orders here that price may likely take out, which actually happened. This push that happened there, the price came. See all these needles. And if you see, it wasn't a clear move like that. Like the price was struggling. Should I continue to buy? Should I change structure to a sell? There was a kind of a tussle between the buyers and the sellers here, and that created the kind of pool of orders, which this guy actually came down to week out. Boom, 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 boom. That's smart money you are seeing. Yeah. So let's follow the trend up. Low, high, low, break of structure. Swing, came back to 76, broke structure again. This becomes our new swing. This becomes our new swing. Came back to 78 again, broke structure to the upside. These are the kind of moves that you should be targeting. I would not expect anybody to take a trade here because of the nature of how dynamic it is. But look at this move. This looks like a very reasonable and a good move. Came down, broke structure, came down. So this becomes our new swing. Price didn't come back to fill here. Price didn't come back to 50%. But then there was a breakout straight to the upside again. So this becomes our new swing. Price came almost to the 100% safe and then broke structure to the upside. So this becomes the new swing. So what happened? High, low, low. This didn't create another high, so this low is invalid. As far as this trend is concerned, this still remains the last structural point. But then this guy broke structure downward, and then our new swing. High low. So this guy broke structure upward. And if you are taking this trade and you notice that this break of structure happened here, then you will come back here to see why price is actually coming back. And then it's clear for you to see. This is clear. This is an institutional candle. So this become this looks like an institutional zone. And then price broke structure to the upside, came back to retest here, broke structure again, came back to retest above 50%, more than 50%, broke structure to the upside. So high, low, high. This becomes the last low, right? So price came to tap the institutional zone, and then what happened? The break of structure happened here, here, here. So price broke structure here, and then the swing 76.8 broke structure again to the downside. So this remains the new structural point, and this becomes the new swing. And then if you look at this well, price came to take this 50%, which also happens to be fill of this imbalance. Fill of this imbalance, then price broke structure downward again. So high, low, high, low. And then since then, we've been seeing a kind of funny movement to the downside. High, low, low, high. Let's take this whole place as a swing. In fact, not really clear, but if we go to a lower time frame, you may be seeing a kind of structure that makes sense. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. Broke structure here. Broke structure here. Came back to retest. Came back to retest. Broke structure again. This becomes the new structural point. Broke structure upward. There was no reasonable retest, but this becomes the new swing. No reasonable retest, but the bullish trend continues. So this swing now. So price came high, low, high. Price came to play around this zone. Couldn't break out of it. So this remains our new high. And then price, there was a shoot up from there. And the price was creating fractal structures to the upside. So what happened here? High, low, high, low, high, low, high, break of structure. These are the setups you should, these are the type of setups you should be looking for. Break of structure, came back to 61.8. Let me go to H4 to see what actually happened. Let me scale down again to see what happened. Okay, that was the beginning of an imbalance. Let me scale down to H2 to see what happened. H1, I want to see what actually pushed price down. Okay, from what I'm seeing, nothing reasonable, but price came down. You can't fight that. So high, low, high, broke structure. Let's just take this whole swing, this whole stuff as a swing. Came back, didn't hit 50% at all. Broke structure again to the downside. Broke structure to the downside. Then price came back up to take out this zone. We will be expecting that price will come and retrace either to this zone or to this zone or to this zone and push up. But of course, price did this thing. Price broke out of here again. Price broke out of here again. There are so many kind of violations here, but it's fine. That's trading for you. You can't catch all the moves at all. So price came back, did a choppy movement here, broke structure. After breaking structures, didn't come back to retest, but was creating structural movement to the downside. High, low, high, low, high, low, break of structure. And then what happened? For me, this becomes the last lower high. So all this movement here still won't make sense to me until this guy breaks out of this zone. This guy breaks out of this zone. But now there was a break of structure out of this zone. Okay, now we know that we've broken structure. High, low, high, break of structure to the downside. There was another break of structure here there. So price came back to test the breaker block and then created a new low. This is its low. Came up, not a reasonable retest, but broke structure. And I think this is the third time I'll be seeing this. Once pricing, once V70, V100, once it doesn't do a reasonable retest and it breaks structure, the next swing usually take out the short swing that broke structure. So in this case now, looking up here now, this Q actually, from the track record, this guy came back here. So what am I saying? When there is a move like this, high to the downside to create a low, and then there is a kind of a short move down here, and then price break structure again. Well, usually this guy for V100, this guy works out this place and comes back to take any nearest Q here. So if you see something like this and then price continues to sell, this is what I've noticed based on this back testing that I have been doing. So low, came back to this cube, broke out of here, came back to this cube, broke out of here again. So low, shallow retracement. The same thing that happened here again. Shallow retracement. Although this one didn't break out, but still came back. Well, we can't call this the same thing because after this retracement, there was no break of structure. High low, there was no break. This place was still respected and price still come back. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the high, this is the low, this is the high. So this becomes our new swing. And price came to this institutional candle and then broke structure to the downside again. So this becomes our new swing. High, low, low, high. For those that have watched the video, you will know why I'm taking this as a structural point. So high, low, high, break of structure to the downside, came back to retest, but didn't break out of this structure. This didn't break out of this low. So what happened? High, low, high, low. This remains the layer, the uh, last high, and then price broke out of it. Didn't come back, didn't give a reasonable retracement to, didn't give a reasonable retracement, broke structure, and still came back to this cube. Can you see a repetition of what we've noticed about V100? And then there was a shoot up from there. There was a shoot up from there, and then price came back here. Price high, low, high, didn't break structure, gave a little retracement and broke structure. So this becomes the new swing. No reasonable retracements. Broke structure again to the downside. And then price broke structure to the upside, came down. So this becomes our new swing. Came down. In fact, came down well. Not just came down well. Gave us bullish, bearish structural movement to the downside. High, low, high, low, high, low, high. So what happened here? Let's see what happened here. What changed this trend? High, low, high, low, high. So the break of structure happened here, which is here. So there was a retest. This becomes our new swing to 61. Then break of structure, high, low, high. Came back to this zone, and then the bullish trend continued down to this place. So what changed this trend? High, low, high, low, high, break of structure. So this happens to be the new swing. Came back, didn't give a reasonable whatever. Let's see. This guy. Okay, I want to see if there was a cube here. Okay, imbalance actually. Imbalance. Let me see. It was a fee. Okay, imbalance. Came to fill the imbalance. So high, low, high. Break of structure happened here. And then price, this becomes our new swing. Price came back to 50%, created a new low. This becomes our new swing. High, low, high, low. This is a valid structural point if you go down. I'm taking a look at it from the bigger time frame perspective. Remember I told you guys that within macro structural points, you will see microstructural points. That's why you need to have a good knowledge of structure. This is a valid structural point when you go to the lower time frame. So price gave the bullish move down. I'm interested in how price change trend. I know we are conversant with high lows, high lows, high lows. So what happened? High, low, high, low. So this becomes the last lower high, low, high, low, broke structure. This becomes the recent lower high. So high, low, all these ones, I won't be concerned with them until this guy gets broken. So there was a break of structure here. Price came back to the test. So this becomes my new swing. Price came to 50%. There was a shoot up. Didn't give us a good retracement. Broke structure to the upside, but still came back to retest this cube. So this is the fourth example that we'll be seeing here. And then price came up, gave a retest, broke structure, still came back to where? To this zone, broke this structure. So this becomes the new swing. Came back to what? Came back to 71, which actually happens to be this cube. Didn't give us a new high, came back down. You'll be expecting that price will come back here, maybe to this place or this place or this place, and then continue to sell. But then price shock us and blew out of that zone. So this becomes a kind of a bullish continuation. Came up, came up. So price did it. Are you guys still with me?
So,
Okay. So price gave a bullish momentum. High, low, high, low, high. So this becomes, let me see what happened there. High, low, high, low. This becomes the new high, the recent high. So this becomes the recent low. But then high, low, high, low, high, low. Finally, book structure came back to fill the imbalance, and then bearish move. So what happened? How did this guy change trend? Low, high, low, broke, broke structure, but still came down to take out this guy here, and then we began to see. So this happens to be our new whatever. So there was a push up here, came back. So this gives us a new swing, a proper confirmation of a buy. I broke structure, came back to where? To fill the imbalance here, and then the cube. So price returned back here, broke the structure, and then came back to where? What happened to this high, low, high, low, high? No high structural point. Broke structure, yeah. This guy broke structure, yeah. And then came back to the test. Okay, we are expecting the sell. The the sell down from here. So where did I pick sell? Where did I pick? How come where's that my horizontal line? Let me scale down. I think I saw it on H2 or so. I think this happened already. This happened already. So what's happening? What's the price? I marked up something here. Where is it? I marked up something here. Okay. Yeah. And here. Yeah. So that's all I feel about this guy. From the back testing, can you share observations, opinions, what you've seen too? Okay, I'm waiting for you guys.
So the guy hardly come deeply to the last hour, to the point of interest. Most times it's only come to around maybe 50 to 78%. So that's how it moves most times. It doesn't come deeply to maybe 88%. So anybody that would trade it, we always have to look out for it to see the next break of structure after the first one, after the first accumulation, to see the next reaccumulation. So, and also if there is a gap, like if there is an imbalance there around the point of interest, or a smart money cube, the price will always come for it.
Okay.
Price will always come for them. So those are the two that are still consistent, like the smart money cube and the imbalance. So it always come for both of them very well. And if there is a swing that is not, let's say it has not retested that soon, and there is a smart money cube there, you can always look out for, even though there's a slight break of structure, it will always come back for it to take it as an internal liquidity to break structure again.
Okay. Thank you for that observation. Any other?
And I also feel price always run away. This price is not, it does not really stay. It just tap and run away. Like, doesn't give room for those that we stay and feel okay, I'm waiting for accumulation and reaccumulation.
It's like V. Is it V10 now? V10 S. I think it's V10. Yes, it's like V10. Once it comes back like this, it's not waiting for you. Straight down. It's running away. Thank you for that. Thank you. Any other before we call it a day? Okay. In the absence of no other observation, I think I would like to end the class here. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the session. The session continues tomorrow. By God's grace, tomorrow we'll be looking at V10, V100S. And if you have questions, drop on the group. If I'm not online, those that are online, they will always respond. And if I come, I will always respond too. And if I notice that your question has been answered in any of the videos, I may likely direct you to the video for you to watch. Because when you watch the video, you won't only get answers to your questions, you will also understand the concepts more better. You're not doing anything new. We're only backtesting the asset based on what we've been taught so far. Very, very simple. Nothing really complicated there. Thank you very much, everybody, once again. Wishing you all a
Thanks a
blessed,
lot, sir.
good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Should I start from